What's going on, traders? Welcome to the channel. I'm John, that's Groot. We trade options here. It's the weekend, time to look at some charts. We'll quickly cover a couple of really key stocks and levels, and then we'll let you go about your day. So let's make this quick. Let's dive right in. All right, so we are in the TradingView platform, just looking at some charts. So here is the NASDAQ, the QQQs, and you'll see we're overall uptrend, but in the middle of a range. So there is some possibility of volatility still present in the market. Same idea here with SPY. Overall uptrend, great, and still kind of sitting in terms of volatility, the biggest volume bar being a pretty big down day recently that we've had. So just keep that in mind. That is always somewhat risky in the market. Here is one that I'm holding, Palantir PLTR, just for disclosure. I hold long-term, short-term, and options trades in this stock, so maybe I'm biased, but let's bear in mind a couple things. We had a downtrend that we did break. We're consolidating right now. We had a earnings report that was pretty okay, you know, nothing crazy from the norm, but also no real bad news, so that's great. The stock did open really low. We tested support, bounced off it, and this is great because this was a support level that we had set up a few weeks prior, and it was nice to see that respected and tested. I do imagine, honestly, probably the next couple weeks, it seems like a consolidation period, so probably some ups, some downs, unless we get a big catalyst from Palantir that is likely on the realm of like a massive contract. But overall, their margins are improving. They're doing pretty good, so I'll take that. Okay, next, let's look at SPCE. Oop, not this one, SPCE. And as we're jumping into space, what I see that is interesting to me is I was opening and looking for a trade here, but I just couldn't find really good options premium that was worth opening an income trade over. So nothing really now, but anything long term, I do like that we are near really low supports, basically all-time lows almost at around the 14-15 level, and there seems to be some support provided here, but the downside is it does seem like fundamentally Virgin Galactic is getting a lot less, you know, love. There's a lot of insider selling, and really you see just weeks of selling. And the good and bad is that the volume is on the lower side, but until we get some big catalysts, maybe some movement in their technology or some dates for putting customers into space, I think we see possibly a downtrend at the moment. So let's jump into the next one here, Gamestop. Gamestop has broken a downtrend, but we've created wedges multiple times. You can see like a wedge created here, a wedge here, and a new one coming up towards earnings. Very interesting that it seems like right before or during earnings we may see a catalyst to either go higher or lower, and knowing that Ryan Cohen is now, I think, on the board or is in operation, something like that, for GameStop, there does seem to be enough catalyst for good news here. But keep your risk in check. Only trade with money you can afford to lose. All right, lastly, AMC disclosure here. I opened up a few trades. I have about a $300 a week income trade set up in AMC, and I'll post the link to it in the description. However, what we're seeing the last 2 days, big movements in AMC, and there is some interesting components here. We're testing a recent resistance level, and it has been respected so far, so we'll just have to see how the action is around this level, about 1450 or so. What I do like about this last week of trading, we've been consolidating, and then as we bump higher, much higher volume, very significant over the last couple months, average volume. And then today, as a response to that big jump, we actually stayed very within the candle, nothing crazy, and we didn't close at the very low, and the volume was lower. So this does provide an interesting story. A couple things. I don't think there's a lot of fundamentals for AMC whatsoever, but in terms of sentiment, there is a lot going on. A reopening trade, People want to travel, people want to go to the movies, people want to dine out. And what we are seeing also on top of this is today, even the CDC did release new updated guidelines that, you know, people vaccinated don't have to wear a mask, things like that. So you're just seeing this sentiment building of reopening and doing stuff. And that is really interesting. But to show you this trade here, it does explain how I set up my AMC trades. And another important concept here is laddering with Tesla, and you'll want to see that as well. And then lastly, a really important component to anyone new is how to trade put credit spreads.